I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up.
I am retiring from boxing. I'm getting hit in the fucking face every single day.
Anthony Joshua did not mock or dismiss Jake Paul after his shocking announcement. Instead, he showed respect. After Jake revealed he was stepping away from boxing following a brutal knockout that broke his jaw, Joshua was asked to respond. AJ took a supportive tone. He praised Jake's courage and fighting spirit, especially knowing Jake did not come from a traditional boxing background. Joshua said criticism is part of boxing, but respect starts with having the heart to step into the ring. In his view, Jake proved that much.
100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit.
Eddie Hearn also reacted, standing by his earlier warning but speaking more seriously after the fight. He said his comment that this bout could end Jake's boxing run sadly came true. Hearn explained that injuries like a broken jaw are not just painful, but mentally damaging as well. Time away from sparring, fear of getting hurt again, and losing rhythm can change a fighter forever. While he praised Jake's toughness, Hearn stressed that boxing is unforgiving, and moments like this force fighters to rethink whether the risk is worth it.
Because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off to. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually.
Jake Paul's game plan against Anthony Joshua was built around movement and survival. Before the fight, Jake said his goal was to use speed, footwork, and constant movement to avoid Joshua's power. He planned to circle the ring, make Joshua chase him, and try to last all 8 rounds. Jake and his team believed that staying away from one clean punch was the key. The strategy was simple. Keep moving, frustrate Joshua, and avoid direct exchanges with a bigger and more experienced heavyweight.
The game plan from both guys from round one. Jake was very mobile. I mean, he had the happy feet going. He was circling around the outside of the ring. He was not looking to engage in elongated combinations. He was not looking to stand in the center of the ring with AJ, and people are going to say Jake ran from AJ, and you're right. Because guess why? He absolutely had to. Again, we talked about this in the build-up to the fight. He had to be mobile. He had to be on his bike. So yes, you're justified in saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He had to. And anybody that convinced themselves that Jake was going to walk to the center of the ring, stand in the phone booth with AJ, and trade punches until someone laid flat, you were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself earlier. Now again, it is very hard to hurt someone that doesn't want to engage in a continuous fight. Round 1, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the first round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake the entirety of the fight. The second and third rounds were pretty much the same, a bit of a mixed bag in terms of Jake tried to get on his jab more. He did land some jabs that snapped the head back of AJ and landed some right hands, but this was all calculated risk for AJ as well, because he knew as long as he turned that faucet on and let the water run and let it fill up the sink and never turned the faucet off, that eventually he would drown Jake, right? So every round it was pressure, front foot, front foot, front foot, and AJ strategically breaking down Jake's gas tank. I will say I'm pretty let down by the fact that AJ didn't cut the ring. I was shocked that he didn't go to the body more. I was shocked that he didn't set up his punches more, didn't get his head off the center line more. It was not a great performance from AJ, but at the same time, AJ had just come off a loss. AJ had just come off surgery. I'm not making excuses, but it was...
Nakisa Bidarian stepped in to defend Jake Paul after the loss. He said the final result did not erase what actually happened in the ring. According to Nakisa, Jake followed the game plan exactly as it was designed. He stuck to the strategy, showed discipline, and did what the team asked round by round. He reminded fans that boxing is unforgiving. One clean shot can change everything.
It's a moral victory because he expected to win. I do think he showed who he is as a fighter. I think he deployed the strategy that he was very clear about going into, that he was going to look to make AJ miss. And AJ missed a number of times. And ultimately, I think the weight of AJ caught up to Jake Paul. If you look at the first 3 rounds, AJ wasn't really able to touch him. But when AJ was in a clinch with him a couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved AJ back. AJ came right back in.
Nakisa also shared his emotional reaction to the fight. He said he was heartbroken but proud of Jake after the brutal knockout loss. According to him, people are finally starting to respect Jake for his effort and courage. He said Jake delivered his best performance under extreme pressure against one of the most elite heavyweights in boxing history. His reaction reflected the feelings of many fans who were disappointed by the loss but still admired Jake's bravery and commitment.